Hi, ladies. Happy New Year. Oh, aren't you guys excited? We made it. We're still here. It's 2021. We're all still here. So excited for you all of us, for this new season. Every time it's a new year, it marks a new season, which is always a good thing, which means we're ready for growth or all the things that the season comes with. So part of you guys were on our last part of our wholesomeness journey. You guys remember when we started, we focused on the past. We went on to understand what our purpose was, trying to define it or just understand what it means. We went into discovering our different personality types, and now we're planning for the future. I know it's a lot to put in within 14 days, and especially because it's a busy time, and I want you guys to know that I completely understand how crazy it is to do something like this in this season. But you know what, when we have so much to accomplish, there's no better time. We have to get to work. We have to get to it. So it's my hope that our journey so far has been impactful to you guys. And I've been working with people, individually and on the group, and I'm super excited for just what I'm seeing. And it might look like it's taking some time, but trust me, this entire journey is a seed that you're sowing to your future. So don't even think the time is wasted. The fact that you can sit and try to craft what your purpose is, or even just try to look back in your past, the things you're thankful for, it's a seed you're sowing, a seed of really getting to understand you and even prepare for the future. So now we're going into our plans for the future, right? And so I want you guys to think of this, by putting together all the things that we went through. So when you look at your past, you looked at some of the things that you did, well, things that you were able to accomplish, and then some of the things that you probably didn't accomplish. And then now you have a sense of understanding of what your purpose is for those who have been able to define it and understand it. When you think of that, and then you think of what your personality type is, your areas of strengths, areas where you need to grow in, people you need around you. Now you can put a plan together that factors in all these different elements, right? And so I suggest those areas for you to start with, which is the spiritual, the financial, and I may not follow this order because I can't remember how I put it in the group, the educational or intellectual, health, what am I missing? Family, the relationships with friends. I think for me, I broke out financial and business, but you can always have them together. Then the personal and as well as the purpose one. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything because I want to break it down to kind of give some guidance to someone who might be working on this. So you guys just bear with me so I make sure that I'm going down, because I want to explain what it is that I'm thinking about when I'm putting these different categories and what you should be thinking about. So I always tell people, when it comes to these things, don't overthink it. A lot of times, the first thing that pops in your head is truly what you want to accomplish for yourself. So the first thing I talk about is the spiritual. So now it's time for you to really set goals on what do you want to accomplish spiritually. Are you in a place where you feel like there is more to a relationship with God that you haven't experienced yet and you want to crave that? Or do you want to spend more time reading your Bible or things like that? I want you to be able to set those goals. And I want you to put a timeline. When do you want to read your Bible? How much of the Bible and to what extent? If you want to spend more time in God's presence, how much time? When is that? Be very, specific about it. We've all heard of SMART goals, and I'm going to talk about that later. And the financial part. This financial part spans across your businesses, your investments, your savings. A lot of us didn't get to save as much last year. Not that we couldn't, but because we just bought things online. Meanwhile, some people didn't even have a job, but now they can be thinking about ways to bring in additional income. Or maybe you have the money, but you have to think of investing. That's what should be in your in your financial side. For me, I broke it out between financial and business because there's some goals for my business I want to accomplish. If you have that, that's a good place to put it as well. Then the next one is the intellectual or educational. Not everybody is in school right now, but for those who are, of course you can set those goals. But the intellectual part is key too, because we want to keep developing our minds, because everything that happens to us starts in the mind. And so when I look at my past, like we did the past assessments, one thing I noticed is that I always set some high goals when it came to reading books, and I never accomplished it. So now for my intellectual, I decided I'm just going to do one book a month. Period. I'm not going to overwhelm myself so I don't feel like I didn't meet that goal, right? And all of these books, guess what? Because I understand my purpose, it has to be in line with what my purpose is and where I'm going to. And then more especially because I know that my personality type, I get distracted easily if I let it. I need to make a conscious choice to set time aside and say this time is for reading. I hope that helps. And the next thing, of course, is the family and friends. And so you remember I mentioned that this spans across the friends, but your colleagues, your business partners, or whoever. How do you want to develop these relationships? Or maybe your kids or your spouse. What is it that you feel like when you look back, you didn't really invest in that you could do now? And what about your purpose? How do they align with where you're going to? And how could you leverage on those relationships, right? Knowing now the kind of person you are and looking at your relationships that you have, are those relationships that help you develop more? Do they add value to who you are, or do they take more? And that's good that we're doing this personality assessment, because this helps when you're crafting these. Then, of course, the health one, right? Everyone's health goal is different. For me, one of the things I set for myself last year was working out. I started late, but about half the year, I made up my mind I'm going to go to the gym at least 3 or 4 times a week, right? And I stuck with that. I didn't stick with my eating habits, but I stuck with the workout part. And so this time around, I'm going to focus on eating habits, because when I look back, again, going back to the past, that's why we had to do a past assessment. I know that this is an area I've struggled with. That's an example, right? And I know that, okay, when I think of my purpose and the things I have to accomplish, I cannot afford to not be healthy. So I need to do that. And so it comes back now to understanding who I am. I do not like to cook. So I need to create a plan that works for me. So I want you to think of these goals, and I have to put a timeline. What do I want to do? When do I want to have it accomplished? When would I be able to know that I'm making a difference? Then, of course, there's the career and the professional area development. So those who are in certain professions, in times like these, there's a need for you to really, develop yourself if you want to go to the next level, if you want to step up as a manager or become, another level. You need to do the work to develop yourself. What would you do? Will you watch videos? Will you follow certain people? Will you buy certain books? Those are things you should consider in your career and your professional development. And then the last one is big, which is the personal and the purpose. The personal is because there are certain personal goals like travel and things like that we always wanted to do, we didn't have the chance to do. Maybe this year you can decide and say, I'm intentionally going to make a trip here, or I'm just going to make time to spend time with myself. Then, but making sure that whatever I'm doing is aligned with where I'm going to. Maybe I'm going to spend time trying to understand these people that I want to impact with my purpose and all these different things, right? So this one is always open, because everyone is at a different place in their personal journey. So, it's for you to set those goals for what it is for you. Right? For me, I know very well that, my purpose, for example, is I'm called to bring people to a place of wholesomeness that's founded on God's love. My mission is to provide a safe and authentic space for them to be able to transform, to become the best versions of themselves. So now when I think about that, right, I'm thinking about these goals that I want to set as far as my purpose. I know, there are certain programs I need to do. There are certain people I need to reach. There are certain, all of that ties even with the personal, because it's impacting me and it's also in line with my purpose. And that's just an example. So now, once you cover these 7 areas, I really want you to set timelines. I want you to have the short-term goals. Let's do a 3 to 6 months, and then you do the 1 year, do the 3 years, the 5 years, and then beyond. The reason this is good is because even the Bible talks about when you write down the vision, make it clear, and God will send the chariots to run with it. It's like sending the help that you need. The moment you put it down, it's like everything you need starts to come together. The ideas, the people, and all of that. So it's good to have it written down. But set timelines, right? If you want to build a school and you know what, it's something I want to do 10 years from now, you put it and then you work backwards. What do I need to do before I get there? I need to start securing funds. I need to connect with other people who have built schools. I need to do this and I need to do that, right? So it's good to set timelines because they help. And plus, we're going to be doing a 6 months check-in. So remember, guys, once you set these goals, I want you guys to go ahead and send them to me. If you don't want to share it with the group, that's fine. You can send them to me personally. As you can see, I did mine. They're, right here. I had a very quiet moment this morning, and this is what I was doing. This was 2020 goals and all of that. This is health. You can see this is spiritual, intellectual, health. Like, I spent time this morning on it. Like, it went on for a couple of pages, because it's important, right? It's the first. I wanted to be very intentional about my 2021, and I want the same for you guys. So I hope that this video really helps in giving you that sense of direction when it comes to writing down your goals. I'm super excited to see what you guys put together. Trust me, guys, these things work. Once you have it put down in paper, it's just something that it's like you give life to it, right? So don't be shy when it comes to your goals. No matter how big, write it down. Trust me on it. Trust me on it. God can never be scared away by your goals. So you guys are amazing. I can't wait to see what you guys put together. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me personally on the group. I'll be looking forward to it. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. I might have a special guest or something. I don't know yet. I'll see. But we're almost done. We have 2 more days to work on our goals. For those who are behind, please catch up on everything. I told you, you can only get what you put in this. And so please make the most of this. All right, take care, everyone. Happy New Year again, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Bye.